kids. Am I right? Or am I right? You guys get this dual team today because she's home and wants to be in the video. You get my little schnookums because I homeschool and kids and stuff. So I have had a lot of questions, and I'm going to try and post them in here one by one and talk about each one, but they all pertain to how I do my pricing for my business. And I really want to address this question. I get DM after DM after DM asking this question. And it's a really hard question to discuss because a lot has to go into demographics, where you're from, what you're building, materials, etc., etc. So today, that's the plan. We're gonna talk about it, and hopefully it will help you out a little bit. I don't know. A lot of it was trial and error for me. So let's get started. Okay, so first off, I'm going to start by just explaining a little bit about what my business is and how I accidentally started my business 5 years ago, almost 6 years ago. I build furniture. I build dining room tables, entryway tables, coffee tables, and a lot of tables, side tables. I've done other little items, shelves, barn doors, and things like that, and I sell them from home. I homeschool my 3 kids, so while I'm home, I wanted to be able to make money and do things that I really enjoyed that allowed me to be home with kids, and this business allows me to do that. I also do a lot of home decor items like clocks and just, you know, pretty artsy pictures. I do mosaics, wood mosaics, so art pieces for your walls, things like that, and I do that all from here in my little tiny garage. Number one is, what are you making? And when you're trying to price something out, I think it's really, really important to do your research. Start looking around at other similar items on Google and in your area. And the way I do that is by Facebook Marketplace, because a lot of people will post or they'll have other things that they're throwing on Facebook Marketplace that are similar to whatever item, clocks for instance. I can go find all the farmhouse looking clocks that are similar to this and same size and same weight and find out what they're being priced at. I think this is important because geographically the needs of your customers are going to change. Depending on where you are, it's going to change pricing significantly. For example, I know that there's someone in Arizona who makes the same kinds of things that I do, but her pricing is different because the needs of her clients are different and also trends are different. In my area, there are a lot of very frugal people with really big families who are on a budget, and they don't have a ton of money to spend on decor items or even dining tables that their kids are going to beat all to heck. And they want something that is budget friendly and fast to make, and it's going to last them a few years, and then they'll buy something else. That's what people in my area are looking for. And so anyway, know your market, know what you're making and how much it goes for in your area. What is first? Which then leads me to number 2, and I talked about it a little bit, which is, where are you? Geographically, figure out your area, know your market, talk to people, look at stuff, look at classified ads, look at stores, look at what things are going for that are similar to the item that you are building. If it's signs, find all the sign makers, look at their pages, look at what they're selling for similar items. If it's clocks, find all the clock makers, etc., etc., tables, it goes on and on. But research of where you're at is really, really important, and knowing your space. So number 2 is where. Okay, and that leads me to number 3, which is materials. This goes into how you're going to price your item, because you need to know how much overhead you have, how much you're going to be spending on materials. And I know this is kind of like a duh, Brandy, but I need to include this because sometimes we tend to undercut ourselves as makers, I've noticed, in this industry, because we either already have glue, or we already have all those screws, or we have scraps, so we could just throw that together. But materials need to be accounted for in the pricing of your material, or in the pricing of your item. When you're going to give a bid to a customer, You can list out the materials if you want to. I don't normally. Normally I wrap it all up and I send them one clean bid and they get one number, and it includes the hours that I'm going to spend and the materials that I'm going to use. So, which we'll get into next. But materials are number one. Is it going to be hardwood lumber? Because that's going to significantly change what your cost to build. Is it going to need any kind of special hardware? That's also something that I've been undercut on before, because I think the hardware is going to be cheap and I don't do my research first. So plan out the bid, or plan out the build before you plan out the bid, so that you know exactly what you're going to be spending on materials. Obviously, if I make a dining room table that is all out of hardwood walnut, and it's a fairly simple build as far as structure goes and joinery goes and planning and design goes, but the cost of my material is super high, then that needs to be accounted for. So let them know. I usually tend to tell my customers, if you want this table in hardwoods, it's going to be X amount of dollars. If you want this table in softwoods that won't last as long and can be dinged up a little easier, it's going to be X amount of dollars. Give them the option to choose, but make sure you give them all of the information up front. Now, that doesn't mean you have to go into numbers necessarily and say walnut is $12 a board foot, blah, blah, blah. They don't care about that. But they just want to know the price difference between the two items and why you would be giving them those two options. Why would they care about walnuts? I have a lot of customers that come to me that don't necessarily know a lot about lumber, and they don't know a lot about hardwoods or softwoods. So explain it to them in case you think they might want to know, and then they can make an educated decision. And then you can move on knowing that you're giving them exactly what they want. So number 3 is materials. What materials and how much is your cost in the item going to be? Okay, and lastly is number 4, which is how long is it going to take you to build? And this one I have shot myself in the foot so many times here, you guys, because earlier on, when I was a novice woodworker, I would look at something and go, oh yeah, that looks simple enough. It'll take me a few hours. I can whip that up really quick. It's never true. You always run into something, or family and life take over. It's going to take you longer than you think. Always. Always. So just make sure that you're overbidding in time for yourself. So if I think a table is going to take me realistically, 8 hours, I tend to only get an hour or two a day to work on something, so it'll take me a week to build this table. So then I will say 2 weeks for completion time, because I always run into something that I either have to fix or change, or my family life blows up and I don't have as much time in the shop as I think I'm gonna have, or whatnot. So know what you can control in your time, but take that into account as you're doing your pricing. So I think that about wraps it up. You gotta know what you're making and understand the plans, know your demographic and where you're at and what people will pay for said design. And if they're not willing to pay what you think it's worth, change your design, make it easier, bring it down, or walk away. Number 3 is materials. Determine what materials, give your customer options for that. And number 4 is how long is it going to take you to build. Take all of these and add them up, and that is going to be your final pricing. There is a formula that I use. I've given myself an hourly rate, which I raise every year, and I will do my materials first and what it's going to cost me to build the item, and then I will take the hours that I think it's going to take me to complete the item and times that by my hourly rate. And then I'll add those two together, and that is what I'm bidding on the item. So for instance, if I think the materials are going to cost me $150, let's put that there, and then I think it's going to take me 5 hours to complete, I will times that by my hourly rate, put that there, and then what you get out of that is your final bid. Okay, so hopefully this answers a lot of your questions and helps you to determine what you should be charging for these items as you go about things. Now, I will add really quickly that if I am building something for the very first time, I will give my client a discount. If it's something that I don't know what problems I'm going to run into, I don't know how long it's actually going to take me because I've never built it before, I will give them a little bit of a discount and tell them, this is the first time I'm making this design, so I'm giving you a discount. Please let people know if they want the same thing. It will be a little bit different pricing because I'm giving you the special one-time offer for the first time of making this plan. And then that helps you to determine for next time, if you're making the plan again or the design again, how much you should be charging. Whew, that was a mouthful. Hopefully that helps you guys. Okay, now obviously my door is always open, you guys. If there's more questions that I didn't answer, feel free to drop them in the comments and I will be happy to get you an answer as quickly as I can. Just do what you want to do and go about this process. Just dip your foot in, because I think that if you've been on the fence about starting this business and trying to figure out how to price things, the more you do, the more you'll understand, and the more you'll understand what your business needs, you know, and you can make those changes as you go through the years and you grow as a maker and a creator and as a business owner. So thank you for watching this video. As always, please like, please subscribe. It really makes my heart happy. And if you can, share, please. And I wanna thank these people here. I'm gonna try and pop them in for adding questions to my Instagram account. I really appreciate when you guys answer my questions in my stories. It helps me to target my videos the right way. So thank you for that. Feel free to follow me on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram. And thanks so much for watching.